Members in the audience, a very good evening to each one of you. We have reached a stage in the country today where we have absolutely no choice. What you hear about Make in India is not a hype, it's a reality that we should make it happen. I will just quote a couple of examples for you and the kinds of opportunities available for each one of us. Sky's the limit. You just have to look around on the way the things which are happening around us. As Dr. Onkara very rightly mentioned, as of March of 2014, the total imports of the country were of the order of about $510 billion US. And the largest imported item, as you all know, was crude oil. You know the second largest imported item? Crude oil was number one. What was the second largest imported item? It's gold. Okay? And you know the third largest imported item? Electronics. Okay, now that is where we stand. It's about $75 billion of imports that we have been undertaking in the recent past. And if you go by the demand forecasts in the next 5 years and the next 10 years, it was expected that the import of electronic items alone will overtake oil imports by 2020. And let me tell you, we are now going to overtake, that means electronic import will become the largest imported item in India, not by 2020, but by much sooner than that. And you know the reason? Because the oil prices have crashed down to less than $50 per barrel. And if you are talking of oil imports at $119 to $120 per barrel, so you can imagine, can we sustain this kind of a scenario where electronics alone consumes a large chunk of the foreign exchange that we have? So just look at the opportunities available. It's not that things are not happening in India. They are very much happening in India. But the thing is, the opportunities are plenty. Just to give you some examples how IESA can take advantage of things which are happening in India, and we develop a definite supply chain. We develop a cluster in such a way that we are in a position to encash on the opportunities available. I'll just give you a couple of examples of things which are happening in India so that we can take a cue on what other ways we can emulate similar examples. Now take the example, I am talking of things which are happening in India today. Lots and lots of things. These things are happening in India which are not happening elsewhere. So if such things can happen, I'll also give you the horizontal spread of these opportunities available. Now, all of us know that we need to indulge in physical activity every day. Now, if I ask you a question, how many steps, physical steps you take every day, I'm sure none of us will be able to answer that question. Does anybody have an idea? What is the total number of physical steps we are supposed to take every day? You can't count. Suppose I go climb down the stage, I would have taken 10 steps. I can't be measuring from the morning. When I get up in the morning until I go to bed, total number of steps taken by every individual, it's not possible for us to measure. Now, okay, what is the requirement? What is the minimum number of steps I was supposed to take? Any idea? How many? I don't know if I'm clear about my question. How many steps is a normal adult human being supposed to take in a day?
10,000.
Absolutely. It's just around 10 to 11,000. Now, is it possible for us to calculate, keeping a calculator in my pocket, how many steps I have taken? Sorry, it's not possible. Now, today, gadgets are available. It's just a small USB drive. Just keep it in your pocket. It will tell you that you have taken so many number of steps. And you have also fallen short by so many steps. So imagine the beauty of a scenario where I just keep this gadget in my pocket and it tells me at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, after I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, that I have done 40% of the physical activity. In the remaining waking hours, I need to do another 60%. Normally, all the physical activity stops by about 6:37 after I go home. So I need to ensure that my physical activity, at least 90% of it gets completed at least by 6:37. Now imagine going a step further. This USB drive which you are keeping in your pocket, which is programmable. You can say that I should complete 40% of my physical activity by 12 o'clock, another 40% by 4 o'clock, and the remaining 20% by 10 o'clock in the evening. It gives you an alarm at each one of these intervals and then says, have you done it or have you not done it? Look at the beauty of the gadget. Okay? Now, why is it so important that I need to keep track of the physical activity? Not many of you may know that I eat kilograms of weight on my body. Okay? You know how many excess calories it takes to add 1 kilogram of my body? If I consume 17,000 calories of excess over a period of time, I add 1 kilogram of weight to my body. Now, how do I know all these things? Today, gadgets are available to alert me on saying that, I am exceeding the kinds of limits which have been prescribed by doctors and physicists. So, these things are happening in India. In fact, please go to the website. There is a company by name, I don't know if you have heard about it, it's called Get Active. It's an Indian company. They have got a number of branches. They started in Bangalore, but they have got now branches in about 4 or 5 different cities. Now, it's available on the web. You can buy it even today. You can buy it today, you can buy it tomorrow. It costs 4,999 rupees. What it gives you today, it is not programmable. It only tells you the kind of physical activity that you are undergoing on a daily basis. But in the days to come and the weeks to come, you can also program it in such a way that it gives you alerts at different periods of time, at different points of time, saying that you have not done the kind of physical activity which you are supposed to do by those particular time schedules, 12 p.m., 3 p.m., depending on your convenience. You can program it the way you want. So just to give you an example of what's happening in the country today, and let me tell you, these gadgets were made compulsory by different countries in the world. Made in India, made compulsory in the rest of the world. Today, this gadget has been made compulsory for every government employee in Australia. It has been made compulsory for every government employee in New Zealand. You know why? We asked them, why are you making it mandatory? They said, we want our government employees in our country to be more responsive, we want our employees to be more responsive to the general public, we want them to be hale and hearty. That is why we are making it mandatory. So look at the beauty of it. One needs to be proud of all these developments. A gadget made in India being mandatory by government of Australia, government of New Zealand. That's something which need to be proud of and see how best we can take this initiative forward. I'll give you one more example. Today, India is the diabetes capital of the world. 35% of all the diabetics in the world are in India. Okay? Now, if your brother, your mother, your sister, whosoever it is, were to undergo a blood sugar test, you have to go to a diagnostic laboratory, get a prick in the morning, go to the same diagnostic laboratory in the evening and know the result whether your blood sugar level is within the parameters prescribed by the doctor or the physicist. Okay? That's what happens today, am I right? Or is there any other system? Today that's what happens. I need to go to a diagnostic lab. Now imagine again what's happening in India, or the kind of developments which are taking place in India. I wear a small wearable device, something like my wristwatch. I just put it on. The blood sugar level, fasting blood sugar level, as you all know better than me, it should be less than 100, and postprandial should be around 130 for an adult. Now how do I calculate, suppose we have a very good dinner after this event, and I have a very good dinner, how will I know that my blood sugar has crossed the limit? Because my doctor has warned me that I should not have my blood sugar level going beyond 130. I can do that only tomorrow morning after I go to the diagnostic lab, and even the diagnostic lab is going to give me the results only tomorrow evening. Imagine the beauty of a gadget like a wristwatch. You wear it, in real time it tells you your blood sugar level. Look at the beauty of it. Look at the kind of benefit it is going to give you, your brother, your mother, your sister, your son, your daughter. They don't have to go to a diagnostic laboratory. Suppose I'm enjoying in a pub in the evening with all my friends and I'm guzzling beer after beer and alcohol after alcohol, okay, just enjoying my evening, and suddenly I get an alarm saying that my blood sugar has crossed 130, please stop drinking. That's the kind of gadget which is happening today. Okay, now I am not talking of science fiction, I am talking of things which are happening in the country today. All these gadgets are at different stages of piloting. In fact, this gadget which I mentioned to you about a wearable device, which gives you blood sugar level in real time. How does it happen? You ask a question. Normally, for blood sugar, you require a blood sample. How does this device, without pricking, without an intrusive mechanism, give you a result of your blood sugar level? The answer is very simple. The technology developed. The wristwatch kind of a wearable device, it generates heat once you wear it. Not heat, when I say heat, it's not hot. It generates something very warm, something between warm and hot. It generates heat. From the heat, it generates sweat in your wrist. And the sweat enables the gadget to know your blood sugar level. Okay? Now the thing is, if that is the case, why are we not using it? That will be a question. If such a gadget is available, why is it not being made available in the market in a very large scale so that it's going to help 35% of Indian population which is today suffering from diabetes? Now the answer is that the readings which we get from these wearable devices have to be within certain plus minus levels prescribed by the doctor. For example, when you go to a conventional diagnostic lab and you get a reading of 112, the wearable device should be plus minus 5% of 112. If it is more than that, it is not prescribed by the doctor. Naturally, because suppose my actual reading is 112 and the wearable device gives me a reading of 125, it is faulty. There is no use having this kind of a wearable device. So it has to be within the prescribed plus minus 5% range which the physicists and doctors prescribe. Now we have not been able to reach this 5% range. It is now slightly going beyond 10%. But technology evolves over a period of time. We are only waiting for some time in the near future when we are in a position to have the readings using a wearable device within plus minus 5%. Okay, it's going to happen in India, and we show that once it gets established in India, it's going to be a product available in the entire world. Okay, if today you hear more about Microsoft and you hear more about Amazons and Apples, you will hear in the next 5 to 10 years time more of these gadgets, more of these innovations taking place in the technology space in the country. So just to give you a brief pulse of what's happening in the country, I just gave you this example, but what I have given you are just a couple of examples. There are hosts and hosts of initiatives taking place in every nook and corner of the country. So the kinds of opportunities available are plenty. Now, I'm told you're going to focus quite a bit on Internet of Technology. In fact, it's actually Internet of Things. As we see today, and here again, there is no first mover in the world. There is no country which can say that I have done whatever had to be done in Internet of Things. There is no first mover. There is no entry barrier. So, if we, as we did in mobile phone, can encash on Internet of Things and Internet of Everything, you can imagine we are going to set global standards. Now, why is it that we are talking of Internet of Things? Because we have too many problems. The kinds of problems that you and I read in the newspapers every day, we may not have solutions, immediate solutions. But Internet of Things, the beauty of this particular initiative is, it is no new technology. It is we are going to use the existing technology. It's only a question of developing an application which has a solution to an existing problem. Be it a power problem, be it a problem of education, be it a problem of intelligent transport system, be it an energy meter or a water meter. Now, all these are problems which we can very easily sort out if we can embrace Internet of Things, which today, as I said, there is no first mover in the world. And if we can do it, we will be setting benchmarks for the entire world. And we become the leaders in the world as we have done. For example, in just about 12 years ago, 13 years ago, I'm talking of 2000, we are in 2015, the total number of phones in India, landline, was 28 million, 28. And today, we are 1.1 billion mobile phones. So look at the way we have leapfrogged into technology. If we can have a similar experiment in IoT, where there is no first mover and we are in a position to lay a benchmark for the rest of the world, you can imagine the kinds of opportunities available. So today, I keep telling people, India does not need job seekers, we need job creators. We want you to employ 10 to 15 people, and the opportunities are plenty. India today has the best electronics policy in the world. I repeat, I can take a challenge. I have seen the electronic policies of most of the countries in the world, wherever such policy exists. Our country has the best policy. Be it manufacturing cluster, be it an electronic development fund, be it a modified special incentive package scheme, we have the best policy in the world. And if our young entrepreneurs and young graduates can take advantage of this, look at the kind of revolution we can think of in the days and weeks to come. I repeat, opportunities are plenty. It's only a question of we trying to lay our hands on the kind of opportunities which are available. You pick up any of the problems that you have. When you go out to this hotel, you'll find hundreds of problems. And IoT has solutions for all these problems. It's only, as I said, if you are in a position to encash on it, look at the way India can set benchmarks for the rest of the world and also ensure the kind of opportunities available for young entrepreneurs. As I said, we are not looking at more employees, but we are looking at more employers, job creators, not job seekers. And this is a golden opportunity for us. The next 10 years, if we can ensure that we encash on the kinds of opportunities available, this century, which is the 21st century, will be India's century. What we were about 500 years ago, what we were about 600 years ago, taking care of 50 to 60% of the global trade, today we are less than 2%. So if we need to leapfrog into the kind of experience that we have had in the past 500 years ago, we are in a position to encash and ensure that our young graduates, our young entrepreneurs are in a position to create the kinds of solutions that the world is looking forward to. Be it medical electronics, be it each one of you will propagate the business of technology. You will propagate in such a way that our own brothers, our own sisters, our own children embrace a technology in such a way that we create more job creators and not many job seekers. Once you become a job creator, you will definitely have downstream lot of jobs being created, which is a priority item for us. And you can be sure that this 21st century will be your century and our century. Thanks very much.